Ask for your name, mommy get it contact like that. The time I wear the weed, I remedy. Girl say she want come link 90 with it. Just drop it, be fat right like yesterday. We are bra foot, never dead like symmetry. Don't there will laugh and celebrate. Dirty bad man, one like happy dance. Them put for bun up, but now see me till man. The police up.
Hello, welcome to my video. I'm Alicia, and you already know that from my other videos. But today, as you can see from the title, I'll be explaining how I was able to be an award-winning debater. I was able to win medals for debate. I have these two right here, and then this plaque, all of which I won in the span of like 2 months. Currently, I'm not in debate right now. I can't be in debate, though I really would love to. But yeah, I won these in like the span of like 5-6 months, and a lot of people in my debate team, they usually have years of experience to be able to perform well. But me and some other newcomers were able to win awards in like our first year of being there, and that's an impressive skill. So I just want to share what I was able to do and how I was able to win all of these awards in such short time. So when it comes to debate, I'm gonna just basically give you a brief run through about debate and what it is, what it's all about. Debate is basically like where you are speaking your opinion about this certain topic, but instead of calling it a topic in debate, you call it a resolution. A resolution that's decided, and you and your partner debate with another pair or team. So, really, debating is all about speaking the constructive speech that you made about the topic. And though that is like most of it, there's still more crucial parts to debate if you want to be a good debater. Like after you see your constructive speech, you need to know what comes after that, because the whole constructive speech, that isn't the full part of it. There's way more than there is to that. But just for now, I just want to focus or highlight the constructive speech part, and then I'll focus on the regular schedule for debate and all of that later. But yeah, I feel like in order for you to be able to be an effective debater, you need to be like good at English class, because that's usually where you get all your vocabulary, all of your intellect, your understanding, and your knowledge on the resolutions from. If you want to be a good debater, you have to be good at reading and writing and comprehension and be able to know the topic you are talking about if you want to make a good point about it. So, yeah, right now I'm gonna share like some of the other topics or readings that I had for like my past debate tournaments. I'm just gonna be reading over it and then saying what main components that you need to have in order to make a good debate speech. Alright, so I'm currently scrolling through. I'm trying to find my old ones throughout Google Docs. They usually make us do our speeches on Google Docs, but it doesn't matter what app you do it on. You can do it online, whatever. But yeah. So I'm gonna edit the speech, but right now I'm just reading through it right now. It says, as my heading, resolution, the United States should make voting mandatory for all students over the age of 18. So yeah, your resolution is your topic. There's going to be different resolutions that you need to have your take on or write about. So what about for people who are like, oh, what if I don't agree with it? Oh, what if I don't think this is true? Oh, what is this really? Da-da-da. The resolution is basically where you take your claim on. Like, pro means that you're with or affirm the resolution. Other side of it is con, meaning you're against it or oppose it. These two, you can't make a resolution speech if you aren't at least a pro or a con. You need to be either one. So for your pro speech, you would be writing how you agree with the resolution, and then pro disagree. So yeah, basically through my speech, you can see that I wrote my introduction. There always needs to be an introduction. You can't just go straight into it. If you just go straight into it, the judges will definitely say things about it. And that's important because that's where you will say your 3 reasons, or as we say it in debate, 3 contentions. So let me just read out the introduction. Good day, judges and fellow competitors. My name is Alicia, and my partner Aiden and I are refuting the resolution at hand, which states the United States should make voting mandatory for all students over the age of 18. Doing this would force people to do something they do not want to partake in without their consent. It can cause unnecessary pressure and force onto them and can result in bringing in uninformed voters who can make poor choices. I will now go into detail about these 3 contentions and why I believe this is wrong. I personally think that making a speech like this with such a strong introduction will definitely hook the judges and let them know that you are well spoken. And yeah, just remember, always put your 3 reasons and have a formal introduction. Always say good day or good morning, good night, good afternoon. Well, it's not going to be night, but at least acknowledge that the judge is there, because there will be judges to judge the match, and greet them. And then I won't be fully going into it because, as you can see, it is very long, but I will read some of what I have with my first paragraph. Going into this would force people to do something they do not want to partake in without their consent. Compelling all citizens to vote without their consent is a violation of their freedom. The United States is a country that values its citizens' right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and mandatory voting would undermine one of those values. If the country supports free speech and the right to speak up, why is it suppressing the right not to vote? According to the CATO Institute, the First Amendment guarantees freedom from pressured speech, and participating in an election is a speech act. While mandatory voting may increase participation rates, it is not worth sacrificing our right to choose. I believe that was a really strong argument, because not only does it state my contention in it, you always need to repeat your contention before going into it, which is common sense, so the reader knows which one you're talking about or addressing. But it also involves evidence, because you can't make claims without evidence. That's like saying, oh, the earth is flat, with having no evidence of it. There obviously isn't no evidence, but without any evidence about your claim, no one's going to believe it. So that's why it's always good to have evidence in your claims. And yeah, I'm going to read my second paragraph as another example. Doing this can cause unnecessary pressure and force onto them. Some may feel like they do not have the time to be able to vote. There can be people who live in a home or environment where they are either stressed with schoolwork and responsibilities taking place at their parents' house, or they are an adult who tackles taking care of their children and handling their full-time jobs. When the voting season comes around, it seems like yet another chore for them to do. But because it is not as relevant to their life, they may avoid doing so. I'm not going into it. I added evidence a bit later. But yeah, that's another example of me just speaking about it. Adding scenarios can also be effective, real life scenarios, because my partner in one of the tournaments when they were talking about a real life scenario in one of their speeches. The judges, after all, when it's all over and they sort of say what they like about each of your things or whatever, he was saying how her real life scenario really added to her argument. And if that judge was going to point it out, I believe that any other judge would notice it and take note to that. So, yeah, I would say that real life scenarios are crucial. Evidence is definitely crucial. Restating your contentions are crucial. And remember to always have a conclusion wrapping out your 3 contentions. So, yeah, that's it about the constructive essay portion. And I'll be going more into other stuff.
She fine, she could get a whole 9. Said she never had a heart, baby, hold mine. When she thought she controlling every muscle. I be looking at her, thinking that I love her.
See. Okay, so here I have one of the notebooks I got from my debate tournament. I don't know if you can see it properly, but it has pro and con. So as you can see, it says pro, con, and then right here, it's a crossfire. Pro, con, crossfire, pro, con, ground, crossfire. So, yeah, if you don't understand what it means, then I'll be explaining it to you. Because in order to be understanding of the debate tournament, you need to know this stuff. Because it determines whose turn it is, how it's going to go, and stuff like that. And yeah. You know how people say when they're giving your classmates pros and cons about what they did, how they say their pros first? Well, that's how it works in debate as well. Pro always goes first. So the first pro speaker, which could be you or your partner, you'd have to decide which one would go first. It's usually the person who wrote the constructive speech. So yeah. If your partner had written the constructive speech of it, then they should be the one who's speaking for it. Which also reminds me, I forgot to go over something. Usually, one person would write their pro speech and one would write their con speech. Because for your partner, even if you guys both agree with pro, one is going to have to write a pro speech and con speech. Because in debate, there's going to be 2 tournaments or 2 rounds. It's going to be with different people, obviously, but 2 rounds, and you'll be switching. Maybe the first round you'll be pro, second round will be con, or con first round, pro second round. It alternates and changes. You can't be pro twice or con twice. You're going to have to be ready to be with both sides. So yeah, just a little bit of background. So yeah, the first speaker for pro would go, then the first speaker for con would go. Your speech can be up to 4 minutes. After the 4-minute mark, the judge would either cut you off right there or give you the opportunity to finish your last sentence. Then there's a crossfire. Crossfire, as a lot of you may not know, crossfire is basically where you're asking questions to your opponent about what they had just said. So you're basically asking them questions about their contentions and trying to find flaws in their statements or make good points about your own. So, yeah, I could look for examples in this notepad because I believe I did use it a lot. Yeah, I definitely pay attention in my debate speeches. There's a whole lot of this. So let me try to find it. This is actually for con, but I'll read it either way just for an example. If you were a con speaker and you're attacking pro, a crossfire question that you could ask is, Oh, wait, sorry. This is pro. So it says media can also help with having at least a pavement or ground of what is seen to them. As you previously stated, how many people may have not had time to take in the research? How do you know that they'll have the time to be informed by the media? If they aren't taking much time with the media, will they really be fully influenced? Some people may also not be as influenced by the media. So what makes you think they'll take after their opinion? So yeah, that's just like a sample question. It's really long. I didn't really have to add all of that. Your question can be like direct and one question long, or just adding a bit of background so it sounds more strong and profound. But yeah, that's one of the questions I had as a pro speaker. Crossfire questions, they're like that. You're asking each other questions. Pro goes first, as always. They ask their question first. You can honestly, though they shouldn't allow this, you can like not answer the question or say, "Oh, I don't have an answer for this. Do you have any other questions for me?" That's something that you can do in the debate round. But that'll end up bad for you. I'm gonna just give you a little warning. Your teammates can use that against you. But I'll go more into that later. But yeah. Crossfire questions, you ask each other questions. And then the second speaker for pro goes on the rebuttal for 4 minutes. Can't be over 4 minutes. Then the rebuttal for the second speaker of con goes. Rebuttal is basically when you write a constructive speech or paragraph that basically tackles what your opponent has said in their speech. So while you're debating, you need to be attentive. You need to write down everything that your opponent had said and figure out a way that you're able to have a response or attack it. So, yeah. In some debate matches, you're able to have like certain ideas of what your opponent is going to say. Like if they ask you to only stick to a book or a certain packet of the resolution that they give you, then you'll be able to see what your opponent will say directly. But if you want to have some idea of what you think your opponent can say, you can just look at your partner's con speech, look at your partner's pro speech, and see, what do I think that this person is going to say? And you can build off of it. But remember that not everything that you pre-write is going to be helpful to you in that moment. Most of it is critical thinking in the moment and not before. So yeah, the crossfire questions would be for the second speakers only. They basically ask each other questions like in the other crossfire. Then the first speaker or first person, the person who had written the speech would now write a summary. In your summary, which is 3 minutes long, use all of your strongest points. Use everything that you thought was like most effective. Use all of your reasoning that was strong and that you think will make the judge pick you. And then pro would go, and then the grand crossfire is where all 4 speakers, both pro and con, ask each other questions. I don't know if pro goes first for this as well, most likely, but yeah, you just ask each other questions. If there's questions that you wanted to ask during the crossfires but couldn't say it before because crossfires are only 3 questions, well, not 3 questions, 3 minutes long, so you probably wouldn't get all your questions in. But now would be the chance to be able to mention the questions that you didn't get to ask before and just say it to anyone. It doesn't have to be directed to the person that you're strictly against. Like, since first speakers, they usually are against each other, second speakers are against each other. Now it can be the first speaker going to the second speaker, doesn't matter. And then in the end, it's the final focus. I don't know if you can see it, but final focus, it's 2 minutes long. Final focus is basically your summary of basically your whole argument. You can bring up your strongest points, just like how you did with the summary, but this time it's the second speaker. You bring up your final like thoughts and stuff, but what's different about the final focus though is that you're able to bring out why you think the judge should vote you. It's basically, even though it's bringing up your final post, it's usually to encourage or like persuade the judge to vote you. In the final focus, use anything that you need to do to make the judge vote you. But remember not to be disrespectful. If your opponent didn't answer any of the crossfire questions that you asked, you can use that against them. You can say, my opponent didn't answer any of the crossfire questions asked, but my partner had done an outstanding job when answering the questions that they had asked them, which is why I think you should vote us. Like, bring points like that. If they were having loopholes or just holes in their story that didn't really add up to their argument, if they said something that agrees with your argument, use that against them. It's basically where you find out ways to help make it in your favor. All right. And now that we're done with that segment, I'll be talking about the point system. So for debate, you are ranked out of 30 points. I'm pretty sure the lowest you can get is like 23, 24, 25. I'm not sure. Either one of those three. So if you get like a 25, yeah, I don't know. That basically means or you did terrible or you basically did nothing. A 30 means that you did everything that you needed to do, and yeah. So yeah, you're ranked out of those points. And you don't need to get a certain amount of points in order to get a win. It honestly depends on your opponent and how well they presented themselves. If their final focus really hooked the judge, then maybe it'll be in their favor. But just know that they need more points to win as an average. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in order to win overall as a team, you need to have a higher average. So even if your partner like got a 29, well, you got a 29, but you were being carried by them and you got a 27.5, but your other like their team, they got a 28 and then a 30, they're gonna win. Even if like your partner got more than one of the opponents, whichever has the higher average, they're going to be given the win. And so yeah, there's certain categories that you can get wins for, or 3 just divisions in debate, such as intermediate, advanced, and there is this category that they use for beginners. I forgot what it was called. My memory is foggy. Let's see if it's on one of my medals. No, it just says top speaker. But yeah, those are the 3 roles, and it's based off of your experience. So if it's your first year debating, you'd be put in the beginner category, and your opponent would be a beginner. Then so on, 2 years, 2-year opponent. And yeah. So I feel like the higher up, the better points that you get. But for me, even if there were a lot of people who had more experience than me, I ended up getting higher points than they did. I can try to look back on the point system I got from my past debate tournaments, but I think my lowest was a 28. I'm pretty sure I got a 29, a 28.5, and points like that. I don't think I got lower than a 27.5 or anything like that. So those scores are pretty good, I would say. 27.5, it's okay. But like 28, 29, 30, those are really like the scores that show that you're proficient, that you did well. And yeah. So yeah, that's basically how the debate rounds go. Now I'm just gonna go on personal tips and advice that I think would work best for you. As I said before, you need to have good reading and writing comprehension. This is crucial, but like, don't be shy. One, don't be shy. The judges will notice if you're shy or withdrawn or, you're scared, but try not to be too scared about it. I'm honestly really scared when it comes to talking to people. Not like people I'm close with, but like if I'm on a stage, I'll be scared. If I'm talking to people that I don't know, I'll be scared. So doing my first debate tournaments were really scary for me, but as soon as I took some time to give myself pep talks, I realized it's really not that serious and I need to get a grip. Be as confident as you want. Don't make it seem like you don't really believe what you're saying or that you truly don't understand or know what you're saying, because the judges will point that out. They can actually deduct points for certain things based on how you act. So always remember to be sharp. 3, I would say be respectful. Always remember to be respectful. Do not cut someone off, as the judges will notice that as well. So when people are talking in their constructive speeches, you can't say anything. Let them talk. It's their time to talk. Crossfire is when you're able to speak. If you say a crossfire question, the person responds to it, but you have something to say to that, say it. Say what you need to say. But always be respectful. Do not insult them. Do not come out blunt and aggressive. Just be as respectful as you can. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for tips. What else? Yeah, just be yourself. There's no reason why you should be putting this persona if you want to be voted for or win. Just embrace yourself. But don't embrace yourself in the way that you get too comfortable and use all this slang talk in a debate match. It will not end well for you. But embrace yourself in a way that you're able to bring out your thoughts about what you're speaking about and really put emotion and feel into it. So I believe that's all there really is to debating. I don't think there's anything that I really missed to it. I don't really think so. But if there are any very experienced debaters, top of the art debaters out there who realize some of my flaws, please correct me. But yeah, debating, just make sure that you are speaking clearly and concise, that there isn't too much running on sentences. Make sure to make so that whatever you need to say, it fits that segment and you don't go over any time. I don't know if I said this before, but the crossfires are 3 minutes, and then all the speakings, your constructive speech is 4 minutes, rebuttals is 4 minutes, your summary 3 minutes, and your final focus is 2. Remember to get in those time limits and not to go over. If you're the type of person who likes to have everything pre-written, do so. Maybe that can let you have like at least a background of what you're gonna say in the actual tournament. But always make sure to time yourself. Time your constructive speech, because that's the definite thing that you're gonna have. I'm pretty sure that's not gonna change at all whatsoever. It shouldn't change. It shouldn't change at the debate thing. But yeah, time yourself. Make sure it's not over 4 minutes. Read, and not in a fast pace, but in a pace you're comfortable with, so you have an idea of how you would say it at the tournament. In your final focus, you can write a little bit about what you would do at the actual debate there, like your biggest points that you made from your speech. And your partner, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have the rebuttal, but at least get some of your partner's ideas and be able to implement that into your rough draft of your final focus and figure out at least some strong points that you think you would want to say. So, yeah, that's it about debating. I don't think there's anything else I want to say. And this is probably going to be long because I yap a lot. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to debate. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't know if I'm gonna make more debating videos about this. Maybe to get more perspectives from my friends. Obviously, I'm not in a debate, so I can't make any more debate videos. But yeah, I hope you found this helpful if you are a beginner of debate or just want a brief run through of what I think of debate. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you are a returning subscriber or just watch my videos once or twice, thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for finding them entertaining. I don't think I'm very entertaining. If you are new here, hi. I hope that you like my videos so much that you wanted to subscribe. I don't make good content, but a subscribe wouldn't hurt. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another one of my videos. Bye.